Good morning, everybody, and you're really welcome to our third session here at our Business and Retail Virtual Career Series. And we're absolutely delighted to be joined by Meade Farm Group, who have kindly agreed to participate in this morning's session. And it's a company that I'm sure doesn't need any introduction to DKIT students and staff. They are a super supportive company of all DKIT things, including student placements, graduate recruitment, and lots of other things. I'm delighted to welcome Eileen Hannon, who's HR and payroll manager, so a really important person. She will do the hiring and she'll pay you as well. And Eileen is a alumni of both an undergraduate and a postgraduate degree here at DKIT, so we're delighted to have one of our own back. Unfortunately, we had a small issue in relation to the technology, so Eileen should be appearing on the screen, but unfortunately isn't. But you will hear her voice, and as I said, we're absolutely delighted to welcome Eileen back again. Eileen, take it away.
Thanks very much, Anthony. You're all very welcome. I suppose Anthony introduced us as Meade Farm Group. I suppose we're formerly known as Meade Potato Company, which we rebranded just in February of this year. So you might all be more aware of Meade Potato Company. But I'll go into a bit more detail anyway in terms of the products and everything, and the reason, I suppose, for the rebranding further on. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a little bit of a history. Okay, bear with me 1 second. Okay, so I suppose the company started back in 1977, initially with Philip Meade Sr. He was a very small grower, and he used to, I suppose, grow potatoes in the Northeast region and distribute them to small retailers in the area. So in 1982, which will be 40 years next year, Meade Potato Company was incorporated, and this was the beginning of the company itself. So it started to grow, I suppose, on a small scale. Philip Senior himself started to take on a couple of staff, and suppose the first big thing for the company was when we exported potatoes to Europe, which made the news. So it was kind of a slow burner to begin with, but I suppose to date we have nearly 380 staff currently on site here in Lobenstown, which is a very rural location in County Meath. So back then in 2012, so I suppose I started here after I graduated from DKIT I was here from 2009. So I've seen a lot of this expansion that I'm going to talk about now over the years. And I suppose to give it a bit of scale over the years, from 2009, there was 60 staff when I started here. So that's kind of just to give you a better picture of how we expanded over the years. So then in 2012, we did a massive expansion of food production facility and office space. Before that, we were a lot smaller, kind of offices were based in prefabs and that type of thing, and it was very warehouse based. But with the upgrade in 2012 then was a massive impact as well for us and gave us a lot of room to grow. What I probably didn't mention from the previous slide, in 2010, we built our own private road here. It's about 2 kilometers in length, and it was to give easy access in order for deliveries and trucks that will be going to central distribution centres throughout the country. So it gave it, much better access to the factory, because it is a very rural location. It was becoming a little bit more difficult as we began to expand. I suppose then in 2013, you see there our first National Potato Day. We did a 5K run here and family fun run. Then in 2016, we launched our prepared foods division. So this involved, I suppose, the retailers are very specific as to the spec that they require for their potatoes in particular. So we decided an awful lot of potatoes obviously might have, not a very good skin finish, but the rest of the potato was perfect. So we decided to do prepared food section. This would, it would involve peeling the potatoes and chipping them or keeping them as whole potatoes. So that kind of helped us with some food waste in terms of the potatoes at the time. Then as we further go, so then in 2019, we developed our first 100% compostable potato bag, which you would see in your local Lidl stores nationwide. And then in 2020, we took, I suppose, a big step also to help with the food waste of our potatoes. So we diversified and we upgraded and we put a massive investment in place here for a facility to make potato starch. So that expansion. So I suppose it's a little bit older to say 340. It's grown every day, and I suppose due to the pandemic as well, we've grown a little bit over the last year and a half due to the pandemic because we're an essential service. So we've been kept extremely busy for that period of COVID-19. So this is just a visual, I suppose. This was what we started with our potato store, quite small. And as I said, you can see over to the right, there's kind of some prefabs which were offices, and it just expanded rapidly. As you can see our turbine there as well. So there's a number of things. So I suppose just to give you a bit of a background of Meade Potato Company, which is now Meade Farm Group. So we're growers, packers and distributors of fresh produce. So the reason that we rebranded this year was because we were always known as Meade Potato Company, which is how it started in 1982. But we also do, it was a bit deceiving, we also do potatoes. Sorry, we do potatoes, obviously. We do fruit, veg, salads, organics as well. So we're kind of not doing ourselves any justice by keeping the name Meade Potato Company. So we've rebranded this year to Meade Farm Group. So we also do a little bit of facilitation. So we have a third party customer who is UK based, but we do some facilitating here and pack their produce and send it to retailers as well. So we act as a bit of a middleman for another company also. But we mostly grow our own potatoes, carrots and onions is kind of what we specialise in. And then we do have teams of growers throughout the northeast and throughout the country for our Irish produce. And then obviously we have to source. Obviously you can't grow everything here in Ireland with the climate. So we have also teams of growers across the world as well. So I suppose our main customers then is, as everybody knows, Lidl, Aldi, Iceland Duns, as you can see there, and the smaller ones, like we supply Avondale Foods, Super Value on a small scale as well. And I suppose we do, the retailers such as Lidl and Aldi, they prefer us to do their private label. So in Lidl, our Meade produce is technically packed as Oakland's brand in Lidl, for example. But we also have, in recent times, we have gotten into Lidl with our own compostable bags. So you will see some of the Meade brand produce in Lidl. And also in Aldi, we would have some chips. So they would be like in your chilled section. We did get our own brand in there on a small scale also. So it's a bit of progress. So the Meade brand it's definitely gaining a bit of momentum now in the last couple of years. Okay. So just to explain a little bit as well about the different divisions within the business, okay? So you have your potatoes, your vegetable salads, fruit, organics, and you have prepared foods. And then in recent times, we have our potato starch. So that's all under the one umbrella of Meade Farm Group now, and it's all on site here in Lobanstown, which is only about 10-15 minutes from RD. We're not too bad for access from Loudmead, Cavan, Monaghan, North Dublin. Okay, so Auntie, would you just play the first video there for?
Sure will, and if you wouldn't mind just muting yourself for 2 seconds there, and I'll play this. No worries.
No problem, thanks.
Underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. I'll be riding shotgun. Underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. I'll be riding shotgun. Underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. streets and navigate to. Gotta hit the road, gotta hit the road. Deep sea diving round the clock, bikini bottoms, lager top. That I'm dreaming of. If you leave me, you know that I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone.
Perfect, Donnie. Thanks very much.
No
Brilliant.
problem.
Brilliant
So-
video. I'd say there was bopping in the classrooms. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a bit better, I suppose, than having to listen to my commentary anyway. So, yeah, so look, I suppose, I hope you all have a keen interest in farming from that video, but it is just, I suppose, to show the both aspects of the business. So, you know, there is the farming side, and then obviously there is the more warehousing and the, I suppose, connection and buying and selling to retail and suppliers. So just the two different aspects. So just from the potato division then, as it says there, you know, we do about 35,000 tons of potatoes per year, which is a massive amount. So, and then our fruit division, as it says, I suppose we do obviously have our own homegrown fruit, and then anything else would be sourced internationally, depending on the seasons. And then veg and salads would be something similar. So basically we'd have a team here of sales and procurement that would be dealing with all aspects. So they're all separated. So there's a full team for potatoes, full team for fruit. It's gone that big that obviously they can't do everything at the moment. So we have specialized teams now to be able to buy and sell. And so this is just the section. So you might be familiar here with the picture on the right. As I said, this is where we have our own branded fresh chips in Aldi stores nationwide. So that's the development we've had over the last number of years to help with the food waste, and they are perfect potatoes under the skin. So it was a very obvious thing to do for us. Okay, so I'm just going to, Anthony, there's another video here. So this one is more, I suppose, focused on the factory here itself, as opposed to the farming aspect. If you want to just give it a play there and see, let all the students see it.
Perfect.
I'll mute myself.
Perfect. Yeah. Thanks a million. They'll come for the music, Eileen, alone.
I'm trying to keep them entertained. Perfect. Okay, so I suppose I'm just going to touch very, very briefly on sustainability. So we are members of Origin Green, and here at Meade Farm Group, we do try and obviously, you know, benefit the environment as well. So we have a number of things, water filtration systems. As you can see there, we do have a resident beekeeper. Odd, but we do. We do focus a lot on as well employee development. You know, it's at the moment the climate is quite tough, the labour market. So, you know, we try to train and retain our staff as best we can. I suppose I'm not a bad example of that. I'm here 12 years now, 12 and a half years. So a lot of our staff would be quite loyal to the company, which is great. We had people recently celebrating 25 and 30 years service with the company. So I suppose it is something to think about if you are looking for a career, a long-term career, and to be loyal to a company and be able to progress within the company. We also do gleaning educational tours. So that basically is after the harvest, there would be some product left in the fields, and it's basically to get every last bit of it so that there's less food waste in general. So we are part of the gleaning program, and as a result, anything that's picked up in the fields, whatever from the gleaning, is given to food cloud charities, and they feed the homeless in all across the country. We also have installed solar panels recently. We have a new substation as well, which helps to, I suppose, make the best use of the electricity and be as efficient as we can. We are obviously, yes, so an awful lot of the supermarkets, I don't know if, I suppose, business and retail we have today. So the massive focus lately has been on ethical trading and, combating modern slavery in the workplace and those type of things. And your Lidls and your Aldis are putting a massive focus on that in the last couple of years. So we were kind of the first ones to do it in Ireland. We went ahead, the UK was a little bit ahead of Ireland, and we got on the bandwagon with the Lidl UK, in order to be ahead of the rest of the game. So, and then obviously we're members of Repack also, and we have our wind turbine there, like you see in the last pictures. So, and then I mentioned here, so the blue bag of the potatoes is our compostable bag. Again, I suppose it was an innovative way of trying to get our brand into Lidl at the time. So, they do want you to kind of pack your own private label if you're not a massive brand like a Kellogg's or that type of thing. But it is in Lidl stores nationwide, and it's a great product. So if anyone's out doing their shopping, but again, compostable bag, and it's, you have to constantly think of innovative new ways in order to stay in the retailers and also to try and boost your orders and your product lines within the supermarkets. So again, it's just a little bit more detail there on, we do the excellence example of best practice, and that's again in connection with the gleaning program that we're involved in. And then as you can see there, it's a very small picture, but we're aiming for zero food waste anyway. So our potato waste obviously goes to our peel division, our prepared, and also our starch division. And then the waste from our fruit and veg mainly goes for cattle feed, which feeds a lot of the cattle around the northeast region, and also then donations to the food cloud. Okay, so this is, I suppose, a little bit of an explanation again of how the potato starch division came about. So like 30% of the potato crop would have slight defects, which means that the retailers don't want them. So you couldn't possibly be, throwing out 30% of your crop, and you need to make the best out of the crop that you have. So that's why we developed. There was a lot of research involved in the starch project, and massive investment as well. So we are at the moment the only food grade providers of potato starch. There is for sale, I suppose. There is other companies that would do the potato starch for their own use, but ours is for sale. So we can supply. It goes into an awful lot of cheeses and different products that you wouldn't even know that potato starch goes into, and it can be used as a gluten-free thickening agent in any sauces or anything like that as well. So there's an awful lot of health benefits from potato starch. So that's our newest venture. And then I suppose just over the years, we have been lucky enough to be recognised in a number of awards. So I suppose there hasn't been anything much happening because of COVID. So you might not see any 2020, 2021 awards there. But yeah, look, we've done well over the years. And, we've won, obviously, Fruit and Veg Agribusiness of the Year for a number of years. And also the Family Business Awards. So the business here, it is a family business. There is Philip Meade Senior, obviously, and then he has 3 of his children that are running the business. Obviously, with the help of the rest of us here as part of the team. So, that's really that section there. Now, I suppose, as soon as it is a careers fair, we better focus a little bit on careers that we have. So what I would say is the food industry is so fast-paced and so diverse and so reliable, if that's a way I'd like to put it. So if you're graduating from DPIT with whatever degree in business or accounting, whatever that may be, we're not just food, and it's not about farming and stuff like that. There's so many different aspects to the business. I've named a few there. I've just put a few in yellow that might be more relevant to the students today. So I suppose it's not, if you want to think career and stuff like that, there is plenty of room to progress. Like, these are all of the areas that we recruit. And I would say as well, the food industry, it's very, very stable. So when I came here, I came out of DKIT in the middle of a recession, which wasn't the best time ever, but I was given the opportunity here and worked my way up to where I am today. But during the recession, there was an awful lot of industries that were suffering. So the food industry, we actually grew massively during the recession. So when there was high rates of unemployment, we were actually, we were growing so rapidly. So I would say that it is it's a very stable industry to be in. And it proved itself again during COVID-19. So we were deemed an essential service, obviously, because, we needed to keep food on the plates of the country. So we were all working round the clock to try and keep the supermarkets supplies up to date. So yeah, that's just a couple of benefits, I suppose, that I found with the food industry, that when other industries might be suffering at different stages over the years that I've even been here, the food industry is definitely one that you may not think to get into, but it's definitely worth considering. It is very fast paced, as I mentioned, which is great. I find my days go just so quick here because it's so changeable. Because it's so fast paced, I might need no staff today and I might need 20 new staff tomorrow. The demands of the supermarkets can change so frequent that no 2 days are ever the same in fresh produce. So it's quite exciting, and it's definitely something to consider. So they're just the kind of the ones in yellow that are probably most relevant. So again, once you have your degree, I'm just going to show you a few examples. So everybody seemed to be camera shy today, so unfortunately I just have pictures. But I know these are dating quite back, but I just wanted to keep it relevant to the audience today. So for instance, our financial controller, Patrick Mungy, he graduated out of DKIT in 2003, and he is our only financial controller for the business. So very, very busy man, and has got us to where we are today as well. And then we have Paddy Matthews, who is our sales and procurement assistant. He is based in our potato division. So his job is to buy and sell, on one side, buying off, local farmers, or dealing with our own growers and farm manager here. And then the other side of it, he's dealing with the retailers like your Lidl's and Aldi's and trying to get the best price and margins that he can get from them to try and make some money for the company. So Paddy graduated in 2011, hospitality and event management also. And then I suppose the most recent one, probably many more, but Naomi Keenan, she studied business management and administration and graduated in 2020. So Naomi, I suppose she got her graduate position here. She's now an accounts assistant and she's doing brilliant. And, there's room to progress for Naomi, whether she wants to stay in accounts or whether she wants to move possibly to sales and procurement, commercial, anything, look, everything's considered here. Once you're within the business and you have the knowledge of the business, there's so many options open. So that's just a little bit. And I suppose I didn't put myself up because I thought I'd be on camera, but I'm not there. But as Anthony mentioned, yes, I was in DKIT for 5 years. So I won't say what year, but I've already given the age away. I'm here 12 years now. So yeah, look, and as I said, DKIT was a brilliant platform for me. And when I got into the food industry, I'm here to stay basically because I know how reliable it is and how I suppose how diverse and how stable, as I said, it is. So, I would definitely strongly think about the food industry, whether it's Meade Potato Company or Meade Farm Group or whatever. It's definitely worth considering the food industry in general. So look, I suppose I'm not going to ramble on anymore in case I'm holding anybody up. But if anybody has any questions that I hope I can answer, by all means, you can ask.
Eileen, thanks a million. And I do have a number of questions coming in here. The first, no, we will. The first one isn't a question, but it's a comment from Catherine here, who's mentioned the new potatoes and seen and bought them. Well done. But it also sort of highlights to me the lengths you guys have to go to get into those larger chains, you know. And I think you demonstrated that really well throughout the presentation, the progression of what you've had to do to become as successful as you have. Great slide at the end. We might share that on our careers page actually, for students, especially from business, retail, finance, because lots of opportunities in there. The question I have is, do you just go to your website, Eileen, and just keep an eye on the opportunities as they come in, and we'll obviously push them up on our careers
Exactly.
portal as well.
Look, we have a careers page on. It's meadefarm.ie is our website. And also, like, you know, if there is graduates, obviously you'll be graduating next May if you're fourth year students. So always keep an eye on our careers page. We are fairly active in social media forums as well. So on your LinkedIn, your Facebook, Instagram, places like that. Look, we're open to anything. Like we do like to take graduates on for junior graduate positions. So we don't do a graduate program as such, but we definitely have entry level graduate positions in order for people to progress. Because I know it can be hard as well. A lot of positions advertise that they're looking for experience. It's not always the case. If we are looking for junior positions within the business, whether it's junior buyers, junior accounts assistants, or junior HR administrators even, it is definitely, we are very much open to it. Philip Senior, who's the director of the company, always says a lot of it is to do with attitude and capability. If you don't have the experience, if you have the right attitude, you will learn and you will progress. You know, once you have the knowledge behind you, it shouldn't be a problem.
No, brilliant. And I note that you have engineering positions. So, I mean, if you were maybe not aligned exactly or unsure of where, say you're a business grad and you're unsure, I'm not sure if it's sales or logistics or HR, or would you recommend putting in a speculative application? Have you time to deal with speculative applications, Eileen?
Absolutely, yeah. Look, as I said, the labour market is not easy at the minute. So if like we've no problem, absolutely, if we did get any CVs in like that. And look, if we have positions that, you know, everyone can consider what's available, and whether it suits or not, it's up to the individual. But yeah, I would keep an eye out, because I said the retailers can change their demands quite frequent. So right now we might not have a sales and procurement position or logistics, but things can change so frequent. We could just, you know, gain new business overnight, and all of a sudden we have to recruit. So we have to react to the demands of the supermarket. So it's very changeable in fresh produce. But look, if there is anything, our email address as well is directly to HR. So it's meadehr@meadefarm.ie. But everything is available there on our website, and the careers page also.
And the careers, and we update them as we go on our own careers page. Eileen,
what I might mention as well, Anthony, is, if you don't mind, just we do recruit part-time positions as well during the summer months.
That was my next question. I just had a question from the student. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, look, we've had you know, college students based in logistics, dispatch. You know, it could be. You could learn from the ground up also while you're studying. So it could be positions on the floor, whether it's even if you wanted to go into quality to see what was it like. You know, there is dispatch positions, logistics, general operative. There has been part-time positions in accounts also. So, you know, there is always, and I would say that's great advice to any students, to try and get experience in the area that you're working in. It's not easy, I understand that, but if you can at all, it does make a massive difference whenever you graduate. You've already had kind of a step in the door, and you can see what it's like to work in that type of environment. Because I know when I was graduating, we didn't have the luxury of work placements back when I was in college, and you know, it can be a little bit of a shock going into a different environment. So if you have the opportunity at all, take it with both hands to try and get a little bit of experience, to, you know, just to test the waters. And
they're very lucky to have a company like Meade Farm Group on the doorstep, who are open to hearing from students. So don't be afraid, as you say, Eileen, no matter what your discipline is, to put in a speculative application and a CV. And of course, we're here to help you. You guys are back again at 12:30 for the Science and Ag Day, and that's next Thursday, Eileen.
Yes.
Perfect. So fingers crossed we'll get a picture of your image up there. We'll work
We'll
through
work
the
on it.
technology.
Yeah.
But listen, thanks a million to yourself again. And it was a fantastic presentation. I know the students will have taken a lot from it. One question here, final question. It's a bit tricky. I'm not sure if you can answer it.
I might not be the best person.
Maybe it comes from one of our academic colleagues here. So how much of the electricity you're creating on site now are you using? So are you at 100% capacity, 75% capacity? Where are you at in relation to that?
Answer the solar panel one.
That's a
you
hard
have
one.
me on that one.
Well,
did I mention I'm in HR? No.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Look, I can find out, Anthony, and I'll let you know, so you can pass on the answer.
Maybe that's for the science and health. Maybe that's probably a better question for that. So
I'll include that in the presentation next week.
Perfect.
No, I will find out anyway in case I get stumped.
I just think it's an interesting area because sustainability obviously is very important, and people are looking at companies now, and fantastic that you're moving towards that direction. I suspect it's probably a good percentage, but food production is high intensity, so I imagine it's probably quite hard to be 100%,
Look, between our wind turbine and our solar panels, it's only a recent upgrade with the solar panels, so we mightn't have the exact data, but I will find out and you can pass it back to whoever they get.
Brilliant. And I'll stop with the hard questions. Okay, Eileen, thanks so much again, and really, really great presentation, and
Brilliant.
I'm sure students will be in touch, and we'll see you then next Thursday again.
Thanks for having me, Anthony.
Really welcome.
Right,
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.